Welcome to Leaders Talks, where we chat with members of ETF.com's Leaders Community. I'm Kristin Myers, editor-in-chief of ETF.com, and I'm so excited to be joined today by Sam Huszczo, founder of SGH Wealth Management. Thanks so much for joining me, Sam.
Of course, excited to be a part of this.
So you're on this leaders list of 100 top advisors in the country, but I
Mhm.
want to first ask a little bit about why you even decided to become a financial advisor. What's your backstory?
Yeah. I mean, I wish I could say it was a more altruistic story of me wanting to help the world, but I truly just stumbled into this industry. Founded my firm when I was 25 years old. Didn't know what I was up against, which might have been a superpower back then, but got lucky. I mean, I found my true calling, again, stumbling into this, and this is my true purpose of being on Earth, and I feel that way. I think what I learned is I do love human connection. I love the puzzle piece of like solving how I'm similar to all walks of life. Just like any person, I do feel like I have a common bond with, and
Mhm.
searching and finding that is really fun. And then, after having that connection, being able to help them solve their goals and hit future goals was just like the both together, just something that I got addicted to. And especially in this like intangible world of investing,
Yeah.
it's deeply rewarding to know that we add value well beyond our fees and in these contexts as well too. So
So the last 4 years have been a little bit of a roller coaster ride, to say
sure.
the least. So what would you say has been one of your biggest challenges that you've really faced as an advisor?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say every 4 years is going to change everything. This is the most competitive industry in the world. And like I'd even put that up against athletics because, in athletics, you have to be an athlete. Here there's like no barrier of entry. So it's differentiate or die. And so the true
Right.
challenge is constantly reinventing yourself. What worked 4 years ago won't work today. What will work in 2029 isn't going to be the same as what's now. And so it's this weird, delicate balance of like leaning into the things that are working, but also always beta testing new ideas. And that's pervasive. That goes into investment research, service offerings, marketing, everything. But what I would say has been our superpower is just we're not the old guard of the industry. We're not networking at, smoky bars and playing golf all day long, just riding our practice into the sunset. We're leaning into technology in different areas that I think, the it's an aged out industry right now that isn't investing in as much. But my philosophy is to be great, you must first be different. And so we're just always trying to figure out ways to just be different first. And it's that creative problem solving again that just makes me feel alive. So,
What would you say makes you different?
I mean, today, firm wise, it's that we get around 60% of our new business from social media and internet sources. And so
Wow.
the average firm gets 6% in surveys. So that is a huge differentiating factor. But, also too, like I have my CFA background, so I got deep substantive background. But I find most of my peers are so caught up in proving that they're smart to everybody else that they miss the ball of communicating on everybody else's language. And it's there's an old philosophy, I forgot where I got it from, but like using intelligent language exits out 80% of your audience. And so I think the fun thing is figuring out more connected, uh, easier to digest ways to explain really complex subjects is where I shine the most, in my opinion, at least. So,
Yeah, we always learned as a journalist, you have to keep it simple and stupid.
yep,
So,
absolutely. Yep.
so obviously you're on this list,
Mhm.
one, because of your amazing accomplishments and the kind of performance and client retention that you have. But obviously, one of the chief things that we looked for at ETF.com was your use of ETFs. And
Yeah.
you use ETFs a lot in your client portfolios. So, why do you like them so much as a financial product?
Yeah, it's 100% of our portfolios. Um, you know, that's another thing too, is just kind of this gate kept industry where it used to be like only the centimillionaires would get like great advice, and then the retail people would get the commission annuity salesman.
Mhm.
You know, we utilize a strategy that was, you know, used by institutional investing for decades, and it's just this ETF wrapper that's now made it accessible to a retail client. So that's the exciting thing for us, is using something that, you know, used to be gate kept, and now because the ETF can be given to everybody. And in an industry where like there's so many innovations that are just like ornamental means to sell product and make commissions. I'd actually argue the ETF is the biggest innovation of the century thus far. Don't get me started on active ETFs. I might not enjoy where the industry is going moving forward, but in terms of
Yeah.
what it's done over the last 25 years, been a great, great innovation just for the general public. So,
Do you have a favorite fund or ticker?
I am agnostic. You know, I'll tell you back, I've been doing this 21 years. In the beginning, I would talk to wholesalers and I'd be open to other people's ideas. Then I did a cold hard stop when I said no wholesalers can talk to me on the phone. None can come into our headquarters.
Mhm.
And I've seen a correlation between our performance getting better. So you know, it's hard to not have emotions. And I'd say the more you can take emotions out of the investment process, you'll notice that your results are better. So I will never have a favorite for the rest of my life. Unfortunately, it might be a better video if I did, but unfortunately, that's who I am. So,
No, it's fine. So last question. It's going to be a fun question.
yep.
Maybe this might bring up bad memories for you. But what would you say is the biggest or worst or funniest, perhaps, financial mistake you've ever made?
Yeah, I mean, to me, not buying more stocks in 2008. At
Oh,
that time, I
yeah.
had 5 years experience. Um, you know, but to me, like the biggest takeaway I got from that, and after seeing the recovery, I mean, I saw my practice get decimated, and I'm like, wait a second, what did I decide to do? And then see it all come back and roar on the other end. There's such a big difference between being a student of the markets and being a practitioner. You know, again, dedicating 3 years of my life to get the CFA and doing all the academic side of things. It was a very humbling experience to find out that like experience alone, that stick-to-itiveness is really what separates, I think, the great investors from the average investors. And so if a market downturn happened today, I'd fight the lazy emotional reaction of just being bitterness towards losses. And
Right.
I truly, I mean, people would say, okay, sure, whatever, but I'd truly be grateful that the probabilities of success are now further in my favor. And I would say the only thing that could get me there is going through that full process. So
Well, I think still the main advice that I've learned from this is differentiate or die. I like that.
different. Yes. Well, hey, and it's never going to stop. I mean, that's where I love making fun of accountants, because accountants just love everything to be known. You know, like you memorize the tax code and you know what your results are going to be. In this, you know, you learn something and it could go dead, you know, months from now because everybody copies it and touches the
Yeah.
bar of soap too much. So, so yeah, it's a constant creative problem solving process. And fortunately for me, that's what I need to you know, keep me going. So
Yeah. So stay
yep,
different, my friends.
there you go.
All right, Sam Huszczo, founder of SGH Wealth Management. Thanks so much for joining me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.